Welcome back, and thank you kindly for clicking on a video. So what are we doing? Well, a few things have transpired since last we spoke. One thing I did know about this header was this. I thought the bearings had gone out on this guy because it's a single pin. I've been pretty good about greasing these. I have got a new set of bearings for it because I knew this was a problem at the end of last year. Well, it turns out this might be an issue because this is supposed to be welded onto the massive bolt that goes all the way through here, and it gets bolted onto the end plate to lock the pin in place. So now the pin has been traveling through, so something's kind of done a cattywampus in there. So I'm going to take that apart and get it all situated. One of the other jobs that's already achieved was this gearbox casing is now back on. This gearbox casing met with a bit of an accident last year, so it was taken off. It was absolutely twisted all to heck. It is now no longer twisted all to heck. It's not pretty, but it will cover up. Because what I was having was some of the longer stuff was getting up between the belt and the pulleys and causing gum up on the belt. Belt is still good, but I'm probably going to have to change it out by the end of the year. But the big thing where it stands still, we got another blash of rain last night, but not a lot. But we're going to be at hold off until Thursday. So today's Tuesday. So Thursday, as far as I know, we've got a mechanic coming down, because if you look across there, you will see a wet tire. Yeah. So, good buddy Tim McWhirter, that is the service manager up at Mazers, said that that looks like it is the brake hub seal, because it's hydraulic oil. So, they've got parts coming in, or they're overnighting them. So, they'll have a guy down Thursday. So, I'm hoping whoever they send down, I'm hoping it's the young Hunter lad, because he's actually from a local family. And I'm going to talk to him about all the stuff that's to do on this machine. There's, if you can see up there, there's some hydraulic hoses up under the cab that are wet. That hydraulic solenoid block up there is still leaking. It's not as bad right now because I got a lot of the fittings tightened up. But we know the block's cracked. I have the new solenoid block in the workshop, but I have a sneaking suspicion they sent me the wrong one. You can't see from here. There's a small one at the driver's side of the cab, and then there's the big one along the front for all the header work. Because I think the little one is actually for the drives. The big one is for header and all the other accoutrement. So, I think they've got me the wrong one, so I want him to take a look at that, check that over, because we really want to start getting on top of all of these machines, all the little leaks, all the little niggles, all the little doodads, and get them up to fighting fit. Because, like I said, we've got another header, and then I want to try and pick up either a 340 like this one or a 360 like Lyle had on the header that we bought. Big shout out to Lyle down there at Hartney. Yeah, they got a nice operation he was telling me all about. They used to be dairy farmers as well. So the other big thing, this header's going to need money spent on it. As you can see, the high up skid shoes, you can't, oh my gosh. I don't know why I can't keep my camera clean. Anyway, so the high up skid shoes are all still good, but the lower down ones have come completely apart. So there's 4 that are destroyed. So they are to come off and replace. And then after that, it's just we're going to start getting into getting gearboxes, drive shafts, turtles, stuff replaced as we go through the year. And then we'll start doing the same to the other header. We'll start going through the parts on it just to do, i.e. the wind deflectors on the turtles, because we know the turtles are fairly good, and so forth. So, first and foremost, get these leaks sorted, because we go through a fair bit of oil with this machine. Now, it uses a lot of oil, like it's a high flow machine, but we would rather like it to stay in the machine and keep coming back round than just going round and going out. So, anyway, I'm going to take this apart and bring you back. Turning the inside of your workshop into a barn dance place there, Piper Doug? No, that's actually one of the projects for Mrs. Piper Doug. There is this sort of barn board, white stained grey paneling, and then a bunch of rollers and some clear coat. So yeah, a backsplash for the kitchen. I don't know, maybe put a little picture in, because a couple of weeks back, I think I said in a video, I was doing some inside jobs for Mrs. Piper Doug. Put a new floor in, that snap lock laminate board floor type deal. See if I can get a picture of it, but this is to go with that. So it's a backsplash. Some of it, this is a backsplash for the kitchen, and the rest of it will be for the porch area where the dog is. But we need to make it where it's easily cleaned, especially the lower half, because, you know, greasy dog oil fur stuff. So yeah, that's what the clear coat is for. We're gonna clear coat the stuff for the porch, and that way it's easy to clean. What are we doing? So, as we know, the disc vine is sitting in the driveway waiting for a tech to come tomorrow. Because I showed you in the, no, not that window, showed you in the previous video, the wheel seal is leaking. So one of the jobs that was to do was these casters that New Holland have on the back of their headers. The bearings on one of the wheels, because they're in pairs, the bearing on one of the wheels had come apart, laying over there. And what had actually also happened was this plate had pulled off the end of the big bolt that goes through. Now, I wasn't going to film this because it's kind of boring and tedious, but I thought, no, I'm going to bring you along so you can experience it just like I have. So, New Holland and all of their wisdom, I do like most of their stuff, but they could have made this a whole lot simpler. And as we know, Piper Doug's favorite saying is, make it simple, stupid. Well, they didn't. So you have cone bearings instead of roller bearings, because you could just put sealed roller bearings in there, fire it in there with some spacers, and you're good to go. Just knock her back up. But no, they're coned bearings. So you have to shim a tolerance in. So you have to balance. Now, I'm not going to take that apart because that'll just do my absolute scone in. So you have your bearing that's in the wheel. Then you have a spacer that pushes against said bearing. Then you have the dust and crap cup that goes over that, as you see there in the gold. And then on top of that, you have a spacer that sits there. But we're not done yet. So those go on either side of the wheel. As you can see, brand new ones, goldy gold, gold. So then there's a tiny bit of a space. So now you have to use shims. Now I happen to have a whole bunch of New Holland shims because they're the same. They use them for everything. These were shims that I had for the wobble box on a 4025 header on our 4750 swather. So I had a whole bunch of these. So I had to re-shim this one. Well, I've had this one apart about 7 times. And you cannot do this job with the assembly on the header. It's literally impossible. If you've done it, you're going to have to tell me how you did it, because I don't know how you did. I don't know. Anyway, so you have to slide the whole lot in there, and you have to elevate spacer, cup, shim, and then the bearings as you slide this huge big long pin all the way through. Well, what had happened that I didn't realize is when it spun those bearings out, it managed to shove a whole bunch of filings down inside the grease port. So I've been chasing filings in and out, trying to get grease to come up through that. So now I just went and got my, I swear by this stuff, liquid wrench. Great stuff. So fired it in there, got the old airline, back, forward, back, forward, back. I think I've got it all out. As you can see, drill bits, drill bits. So I think I've got them all out. So now I can put this back in for the last time. Fingers crossed. And they'll take grease, because I know the other one takes grease. Anyway, I'll bring you back when it's done. Okay. Well, I had it apart another time because I put it back together, cleaned it all out, and it still wouldn't take grease. So what did I do? I cut a grease channel in the rod. Not deep, just the width of the grease nipple channel, and put it like an inch so it come in past the bearing, because it seemed like the port was pointing up. There's grease everywhere. But it's pointing up at the cone bearing. Like not at the bearing part, but actually in a race. So it couldn't get past it. So I don't know why. Bizarre. But inventiveness prevails. So yeah, cut a notch. So now grease, now she's packed. Ready to go. So I gotta manhandle this 130-pound behemoth out there to the header. So fingers crossed. Here's Johnny. Might be belly though, I'm not sure. Oh, there's one of the Jetstar happers. Wee stonker. And there's a Duchess. Steer though. Get our first real warm drying day. Hey babies. And there's Blackbird's baby, fully recovered from its wee tummy tick. Gunner's wee boy Pistol, Racer's kid. So yeah, just going out to check. See, they've stopped going out here now because they don't need to. So it is Friday today. Calm down. Yeah, you don't have a pulse because you're Suki's kid. Yeah, flies are bugging them though. So yeah, we'll be moving the adjustable tape down to the next paddock Sunday. I think Sunday is move day. Man, they are getting through these tubs. Now, I know people will look at this and go, but come on, like there is a lot of food out there. That's correct. But in 2 days, we will move them because we want to leave this mat of food, because that way this ground never dries out completely. And I know it's a wet year, but believe you me, when it gets to 30, which is going to be next week, you want this so it gets going again. Now what we might do, and what this used to do back in Scotland, is we might come in either with the disc bind if we have time, or this is where getting that pull-tight swather I have up and running, and just lop the top off of this, because that will start the plants growing new base again. So I don't know if I'd said this, we move this tape down to the next paddock, but we're actually not going to give the Gen Pop, the big herd, the last L that goes up beside the gravel road, because I think we're going to save that for the old girls, because these guys are going to have plenty to eat, as you can tell, because that's chest high to me and I'm 6'5". But we need the old girls to be out of that far away paddock by the house for a wee while, because we have to have our sewage ejector rebuilt, because it was freezing up in the winter time. And yeah, I haven't fixed this yet, but it's not high on my list of priorities. So yeah, they'll need to be shut out of there. So hopefully by the time we do that, these guys will be out here. So this gate swings over to here and hooks to this one. So then they go out that way. And then these guys can have the run of the L, but we'll get them a water source too. But anyway, we've got a mechanic here from Mazers. Big shout out to Tim McQuarter and the crew at Mazers. You all know my thoughts on salespeople and those ones up there, but the mechanics, service department, parts department, they are the top notch crew. Go to bat for you. And they got a mechanic down, and he has resealed the drive motor that was blagging oil out. So hopefully by the end of the day I will be up and cutting. He's going to be ordering all the parts. I got him to check the rest of the machine. Ooh, that would hurt. Kick the barbed wire. He's going to check the rest of the machine over for seals and stuff that it needs, and he's going to start an order. And they're going to start a program where we're going to start taking things off the list, and then eventually they will get that machine every couple of winters to do a, what they call a blue light. I know it's kind of John Deere's green light, but same thing. Anyway, I'm going to go get on to get feeding done, and then I think Mrs. Piper Dog wants to go and, you know, run the skid steer and carry those trees off. Because I like to get at that fence. Hi, Star. Hi, my sweet girl. How you doing? I know. Oh, you're just a peddle. Yeah, these are the youngsters. They're very, very, oh, must be the mechanic. I thought it was the start to the Guess Who song. There's Jade. There's Sparkles. Some of them still have flies on them. Like that wiper is working, but the problem is the ground's so punched out that they're actually getting too low for it. You seem pretty good though. Some of them are getting it, but anyway, back I go. Piper Duck is in a happy place, doo-da, doo-da. Piper Duck's in his happy place, oh, the doo-da day. So big shout out to the lads up at Mazers, lads and girls. Not the sales department, definitely not that. But big shout out to Tim McQuarter, the service department guy, and sorry I didn't catch the name of the tech. Big brute of a lad. So yeah, I told him basically this swather's now his. Whatever he would do to this if it was his, he can now do to it because it's his. Yeah, this is his baby. So yeah, I probably covered this in the previous sections, but yeah, when we started her up, it turned out we had a blown seal and one of the wheel drives. Now the other one is going, but it's not out yet, so at least I can get my headlands done, fingers crossed. But he's gone over the machine top to bottom. He has figured out what it needs right away, what it needs in the long term, and they've started an order, and he now knows this machine. So oh, I tell ya, like I said, big shout out. If you do not value the workshops that go the extra mile for you, you're a fool. Because I tell you, my stress level was literally from 100% to 0. He said, oh yeah, no, it's just a seal, it's not all these other things. So yeah, so I'm gonna get going at this. Like I said, we're just taking off headlands right now. So this one, the next field, and then the big field over up by the gravel road. And then he said that they'll let us know when the rest of the stuff starts coming in for this. And then we'll be able to just book her. Yahoo! Get back to cutting. Yeah, it was not supposed to rain today. Slight chance tomorrow. Nothing in the foreseeable future. Anyway, well, looky loo, who's in the shop? Big Blue. So, why is Big Blue in here? Well, I might have talked about this a while back, but for any new subscribers, Big Blue, I know there's a certain someone that watches the channel, because they bought him new there. So Big Blue, we got him cheap from the place that does the work on the orange tractor. So he's a cheap tractor. We got him to run an auger in the grain farm. Then my chief reason was I always wanted a Super Q. Growing up, we had economy cabs. We had a 5.610 and a 6.610. We weren't a big farm, but for all the work that we did, 5.6 and 6.6s did all we needed. We had a 3-furrow plow on the 6.6, and the 5.6 did all the fertilizing and run the hay rake, the silage rake and all that stuff. Anyway, back to this guy. Like I said, I always wanted it, and on my dream, before I wouldn't take a Lamborghini or Ferrari from you. What I would take would be an 8.210 Ford Super Q, Series 2 or Series 3, front wheel assist, and I would put a loader on it. Outside of that, I've already had a TW35, but it was a Mark 1 with the Q cab, not the Super Q, which is just the dome roof. Loved that tractor, but the front axle broke on it, and we needed another loader tractor, and so we had to get rid of it. I regret that move because it was a gorgeous big tractor. Same horsepower as this one. See, this is the same as the 8830, 8730, slightly smaller. It's like maybe 10 horse, but it's actually in the fuel pump, so this could just be juiced to 88. So the problem we have is, last year, this needed a new water pump. So I did the water pump replacement in the field. I was told by somebody it doesn't need a gasket in it. It basically just bolts up to the block. Well, I've since found out that you're supposed to give a smearing of liquid gasket on the back of the pump when you made it up to the block. So henceforth, it has had a slight leak ever since I put it back together. Now, those of you who are astute will see that's not a factory bit of pipe. Nope, that's a quick fix that's been there for a long time. And let's see if I can get you in here, sneak you in. That's not factory either. But that pipe blew in the middle of harvest while this was running a shuttle cart, because that was one of its main jobs, was pulling a shuttle cart, because it is 160 horse. And we had a 550 bushel shuttle cart. So this pulled it quite well. It has duals, by the way. So this was the only fix I could get at the moment, because I couldn't find a piece of elbow that size. So I made an elbow and just got some straight pipe. Now I know when I put the water pump in, there's a tiny short bit of hose that goes from the pump to part of the block. So it's to replace, that's to replace, that top piece is to replace, and there's another hose somewhere else to replace. All told, I think there's 5 bits that need done, as far as I remember. Anyway, so here we are. So there's the elbow that I was waiting for all that time. There's that piece that was jimmy rigged. There's the little piece that I was talking about that goes in the water pump. Not entirely sure where this goes, and I'm still trying to figure this one out. But there's $300 worth of hoses from Case New Holland. Yeah. So I'm going to get to taking this all apart and getting that water pump out so I can clean everything and then get it gasketed. So I'll bring you back at that point. Okay, so I'm making myself perfectly clear. There was liquid gasket in there. It does not call for a gasket, is what I was referring to. From what I can see, it looks like maybe at the bottom. I don't know whether it was just still a little bit wet, because I did it in the field and maybe I didn't get it completely dried out and there was some coolant still kind of dribbling out the bottom. So because it's not easy to get it in there, like you have to sort of cock it at an angle, turn it to get it in there past the blades. So maybe while I was doing that, some more coolant dribbled out. So when the liquid gasket, like this stuff, as far as I know, this is good for that because it does heat and all that good stuff. So I think by the time I got it in there, and maybe some of the coolant kind of dribbled out, and so when I mated it up, like I've already scraped some of this off, so it's not that, but like you can see there, it's a different color. So I wonder whether maybe it didn't bond right. That and the fact that some of the hoses were bad. Yeah. See, and this is where it's hard to show everybody. So this piece of the pipe that comes down off the thermostat housing to there is a very, very, very short distance. Because I don't even know if I'll use all of that pipe. Because I remember, like, by the time you put them together, there's maybe 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch between the pump and the thermostat housing inlet or outlet. I'm not sure which way around that is. I think that's the inlet to the thermostat outlet from the pump. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some. Let me clean that up. See, this pump's less than a year old. So yeah, that shows you the condition of some of the hosing. So that shows you, now there's perfect case in point, I never even realized this. That's the distance. Is that thunder? Well, that's Mrs. Piper Doug cutting grass, but I just heard rumbles. Anyway, so that shows you the distance between the pump and the thermostat housing. I think it's 1/4 of an inch. So yeah, I had it sandwiched underneath the pipe clamp, but we'll put a proper one because there's not a lot of room to get a hose clamp in there, but you can just get one up in there, and then there'll be one right here on that guy. So I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to try and get as much of that coolant out of there as I possibly can, get it all dried out. And see where I get to, because I think we're having an early supper tonight. This is Saturday. 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 Squirrel. So we're heading into Brandon tonight because we want to do a little bit of running in town, and then we're going to head to Liam's. I want to do a second round of spraying in Liam's yard. Try and get ahead of these weeds, maybe do a little bit more yard care because I want to kind of try and be on the good side of the neighbors. There's some issues with Liam's house. I can't talk about it right now because there's issues with the previous homeowner and not the real estate agent that we dealt with, but the original lister. But I won't go into any more details. But let's just say we're going to be talking to our neighbors and finding out what was the story morning glory with the previous owners. So I'll see where we get to. Y'all want to know what too close for comfort is? 16-foot header down a 16-foot driveway. And believe you me, if I took a picture, if I could, you would see that these trees are the exact same shape as this swather and the bale processor. Neat as can be. Okay, things are drying up. It's time to get going. Wait until this storm passes by. Apparently it's skinning right past us at Rivers. You want to know what the lap of luxury is? Look at those little kings of the castle. 2 boys. Oh, there's 3 boys and a girl there, but the girl's a free martin, so they're all fat stock calves. Look at them. Just enjoying their best life. Let's get on. Start of the heat wave. Well, yesterday was hot, but officially today's supposed to be the start of the heat wave. And we are hooked to our trailer and we're heading north, and it's not for a good reason. So the baby that was born second last, so one of the herd favorite sputters, the wee bull calf she had, he'd never had a really good start. He had a hard time trying to get latched on, and then he had got himself fired out through the fence through the night, and so when we got him the next day he was kind of laid out in the sun. So we got him back in with mama, and I think I talked about it before, we had to walk her and baby across to the maternity pen, get him latched on, show him how it works, get her drawn out so she wasn't in pain anymore. And they seemed to be good and matched up, and so we put them back out to the cull paddock by the house, and they seemed good. And then we saw him nose down in the crappy puddles after these rainstorms, just sucking up all that nasty acidic crap water. So of course he took a downturn, and so we started the medications for scours, the charcoal for bad stomach, and started him on the Borgal injection, gave him electrolytes, and he was dead this morning. Yeah, no ifs, ands or buts, just done. So, and as we've always lamented, sometimes Mother Nature just, that calf was not meant to be, that calf was not meant to be, even no matter how hard we fought to get the calf onto mum, to get mum to be good with the calf. She's a great cow, but for some reason she's been off ever since she had it. Like I said in the last video, I could hear the calf bawling as it was coming out, and it didn't seem like it was stuck there for long, but it popped out by itself eventually. So yeah, so Butters, one of the family favorites in the whole herd, is in the trailer heading to the train station, as they say. So yeah, not a great day, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So we'll take care of this, and we'll take care of Butter's little boy, and then we'll get back to cutting hay. Okay, so very peculiar. You can see here. So this field, when we sowed it, had a mix in it, and for the first 3 years that we've taken crop off of it, it's only had alfalfa. Now the conservation district guy said, no, the grass will come back. It never did, till now. super thick grass, but there is 1, 2, 3 different varieties here now. Crazy. Yeah, leaving her nice and wide, so it's just wider than the pickup on the baler, so it sucks it in. Had to stop. Hold on a second. It'd be hard to make that out because these cameras are awful. That's our bald eagle's back. Or gold eagle. It's the one with the white head. Is that the bald eagle? So hopefully he's cleaning up all the gophers out there. That'd be nice. Oh, sorry. So, gonna have to bid you adieu. It's Monday night. Gonna have to wrap this video up. As you can see away in the distance over there, the south-south field is headlands are done. The silage field, the headlands are done. Headlands are done this field, and I'm going to start knocking down this field because it's probably 3/4 flowered, or a little bit, yeah, probably 3/4 flowered. Some of the low spots it's still not as flowered, but it's time to go. These are big swaths. At least this area, it's still pretty well standing, but you can see back there it's kind of laying over. But yeah, there's a lot more grass out here than there ever was since we put this in, so it's nice to see. So, thank you for watching, everybody. And yes, I promise I will have the windows cleaned by next week. And hopefully there will be a baler running, rolling. Still have to finish putting the coolant, putting the coolant in the baler tractor. Should be ready to go, just tickety boo. And yeah, we'll get to haying season 2024. So, if you haven't, go down there, like it, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye. Okay, before I go, I know I signed out, or however you call it. The update on the paddocks, the paddock rotational grazing. Yes, I think the screen's still schmaggy. Anyway, you'll be able to see it pretty good. So yeah, this will be for next week. They'll go into the double paddock. But as of this week, the paddock from last week is this one that they just left. As you can see, they love being in that mud puddle to keep the flies off them. As you can see, still a fair bit of grazing. It's hard to tell, but that's bald enough. And then here they are in the new one. They got in here yesterday, so nice and spread out. Not as much grazing in this one, but there'll be enough between the